Hello everyone, back again with Tale Recaps. In this video, I'm going to recap one of the family films from 2021, titled The Wolf and the Lion. Before we get to the storyline, I'd like to wish everyone a happy and great day. Without further review, let's get straight to the storyline. You might have seen jungle animals attacking people, but our story today is quite the opposite. It begins at a zoo where some poachers sneakily snatch a lion cub. They cage the cub, intending to transport it on a plane. Fast forward, we meet Alma, a 25-year-old aspiring pianist who loves animals. One day, she's off to an island which happens to be her grandfather's. He adopted her years ago, and now, after his passing, the island is Alma's inheritance. Uncle Joe welcomes her to the island. There was a beautiful house there. She decided to spend the night on the island. While watching her grandfather's videos at night, Alma became very sad. In one video, her grandfather told her about Snow, a female wolf who had somehow arrived on the island a few years ago. As time passed, a deep friendship developed between them. Her grandfather told Alma to befriend Snow too. That night, the plane carrying the lion cub crashed on the island due to severe weather. Hearing the explosion, Alma got scared and went outside to see, but the island was vast, so she couldn't find anything. The next morning, two young men named Charles and Ollie arrived. They were planning to capture Snow as they were the owners of the park where the wolves lived, and they wanted to take Snow with them. Shortly after, Snow got caught in a trap, but using her intelligence, she managed to escape before Charles and Ollie arrived. She then swam to the other side of the island where she met Alma. At first, Alma was frightened, but then she remembered her grandfather's words and started to love Snow. A little later, Alma reached the crash site of the plane, where fortunately the lion cub was unharmed because it fell in a bird's nest. However, the bird pushed it down into Alma's lap. At that moment, Snow also arrived with her cub, and they all went home together. Seeing the three adorable animals at home, Alma was thrilled and immediately called Uncle Joe. However, he advised her that it wasn't safe to keep those dangerous animals at home and they should be given to the zoo authorities. Uncle Joe also mentioned that while searching for the lion cub, zoo workers would surely come, and the situation unfolded exactly as he said. The next day, animal control arrived and Alma knew how ruthless they could be. So, she decided not to reveal anything about the animals and lied, saying she hadn't seen any lion cub. Upon returning home, Alma saw Snow not only nursing her own cub but also the lion cub. She was overjoyed to see Snow caring for both cubs, as now Snow was looking after both like her own. As days went by, the friendship between the two cubs grew stronger. Alma named the wolf cub Jack and the lion cub Dreamer. Meanwhile, Uncle Joe was worried that these wild animals might harm Alma, but as months passed and the cubs grew a bit older, Alma would take them around the island, playing with them at her grandfather's favorite spots. Unfortunately, one day when Alma went for a piano audition, the owners of the park where the wolf cub belonged intruded into the island again. This time, they captured Snow and took her away with them. Meanwhile, Alma successfully passed her audition and returned home full of joy. However, upon arrival, she was shocked to find her house in disarray as the cubs had become restless due to hunger. Alma searched the entire island for Snow but couldn't find her. Now, with the responsibility of feeding the cubs, she had no choice but to give up her job as a pianist, even though she didn't want to. One day, Uncle Joe returned and was furious to see the carnivorous animals still there. He demanded that Alma send the animals to the zoo immediately. However, Alma explained to him that it was her grandfather's wish for them to stay together with the animals and she didn't want them to suffer in the zoo. Eventually, Uncle Joe relented and they embraced. From then on, Alma dedicated all her time to feeding and caring for the animals. She loved Jack and Dreamer dearly, and the feeling was mutual from the animals' side as well. As time passed, a year went by and both animals grew bigger. Uncle Joe would bring meat from the city for them, but he was always wary of getting too close to them. He would repeatedly try to convince Alma that it was dangerous to live with these animals. However, Alma was not willing to abandon them under any circumstances. One day, a mother and daughter arrived on a boat near the island. When Jack started to approach them, Alma rushed to stop him, but she tripped over a stone and fell, hitting her head. She was knocked unconscious instantly. The mother and daughter didn't witness any of this and left shortly after. When Jack and Dreamer returned to Alma, they tried tirelessly to revive her, but to no avail. They spent the entire night cuddled up to Alma, trying to keep her warm. The next morning, Uncle Joe tried calling Alma multiple times but didn't receive any response, which made him suspicious. He immediately rushed to the island, thinking that the wild animals might have attacked Alma. He even called animal control, fearing the worst. However, when they found Alma unconscious but well cared for by the animals, he deeply regretted his actions. Later, when Alma was taken to the hospital, the doctors informed them that if Jack and Dreamer hadn't kept her warm, she might not have survived. The animal control handed Jack over to Ali and Charles, revealing that Jack was actually Snow's cub. Meanwhile, Dreamer was sold to a man named Alan, who ran a zoo. Alan was cruel to his animals, often mistreating them, unlike his father. His son, Rafa, however, was kind-hearted and quickly formed a bond with Dreamer. But within a few days, poor Dreamer was forced into performing circus tricks after being given various addictive drugs. Until then, Dreamer had enjoyed his life on the island, but the cruel actions of these people had a severe impact on him. Therefore, Rafa often visited him to offer him comfort and support. When Alma regained consciousness in the hospital, she immediately inquired about Jack and Dreamer. Uncle Joe, feeling distressed, told her the truth about their whereabouts. As soon as Alma was discharged from the hospital, she headed straight to the animal control office. There, she learned that Jack had been sent to the park with the other wolves and Dreamer had been handed over to a circus group. Hearing this enraged her, and she began shouting at the officer, but Uncle Joe intervened and stopped her from causing a scene. After some time, Alma called Ali to inquire about Jack. Ali informed her that Jack was doing well and had made some friends there, which provided Alma with some relief. However, she remained deeply worried about Dreamer. Over the next few weeks, she visited every circus in the city, asking about Dreamer, but with no luck. Due to Dreamer, Alan's earnings started to increase significantly, and Dreamer soon became famous as the Star Lion. One day, as the circus group was passing by the park where the wolves were kept, Jack immediately recognized his childhood friend. Using his intelligence, Jack managed to escape from his cage. When Ali witnessed this, he realized Jack's remarkable intelligence and understood that he must be searching for something or someone. Soon, Jack reached the place he had been searching for and cleverly freed Dreamer from his cage as well. After months of separation, the two reunited and played together joyfully. When Alan learned about Dreamer's escape, he angrily pulled out a gun, causing his son Rafa to try to stop him. Despite Rafa's efforts, the greedy Alan ignored him and eventually convinced Rafa to join him in searching for Dreamer. After Alan informed Ali about Dreamer, they finally understood that both Jack and Dreamer were together, prompting a citywide high alert to be issued. That evening, Ali informed Alma about everything and told her that the animal control authorities were after both animals. Hearing this, Alma became anxious, but Ali explained that they had implanted a tracker in Jack's body. The last location of Jack and Dreamer was on the outskirts of a jungle. Now, Alma and Ali decided to search for the animals together. Since both animals were roaming openly in the city, the police were ordered to shoot on sight. Later, both animals reached the jungle again, where Alan and Rafa spotted them. Greedy Alan attacked Dreamer with his tranquilizer gun, but at that moment, Jack appeared and became the target of the gunshot instead of his friend. Jack became unconscious immediately, allowing Dreamer to escape. After Dreamer ran away, Rafa quickly removed Jack's tracker and administered medication to counter the effects of the tranquilizer. After a while, the father and son arrived together, and Ali and Alma also reached them using a tracker. Alan told them that he didn't have any tracker and let them go. However, wise Rafa, using the pretext of the bathroom, revealed the truth to Ali and Alma. He then took them to the jungle where they finally found Dreamer. Afterward, Dreamer led them to a hideout where Jack was resting. Fortunately, Jack had regained consciousness by then, but they became suspicious when they heard the police approaching. So, Alma secretly guided both animals away from the police through hidden paths. To reach the island, they only had to cross a river, the only way to escape the police. However, there was no boat there, so they had to swim. Jack bravely started swimming across the river, but Dreamer was afraid of the water. Alma tried to encourage him, but Dreamer turned back towards the jungle. As Jack and Alma continued swimming, they heard the sound of gunfire. It meant that Dreamer was no longer in this world. Upon reaching Iceland, Alma, feeling distressed, began to cry, but suddenly Dreamer appeared before her. In reality, he had gone into the jungle to mislead the police. Seeing him alive, everyone was overjoyed. Finally, in the happiness of Jack and Dreamer's return, Alma threw a party with piano music. Now their family was complete. In the end, Alma narrated the story of their beloved animals, which made everyone's heart sad, but they all found joy in being together again. So, who is your favorite jungle animal and would you like to take care of it? Let me know in the comments for the next video.